Hi guys, we were given this bell by somebody rather special. It's a steel bell, and so from the gift was this from the loop down to the clapper here, and we've been looking for a bracket to hang it on, and we wanted something a little bit like this, but we couldn't find one anywhere. So I've had to make my own, and Sophie came up with a design and we talked about it. But anyway, that's what we've got, and I'll show you how I went about making it. So it's copper and glass. I've recently put this stained glass around the top of the porch here, and when it come to actually making this bracket, it seemed not unreasonable to sort of think, well, can we use some of that stained glass? What I particularly like is the way, if you look at the blue, when you move around and you get the mix of the yellow and the blue, so it changes to a green, which is exactly what you'd expect, of course. Anyway, I just thought I'd share with you how I went about making it. It hasn't got a sharp point on it there, that's rounded, so no one should walk into it or do anything stupid. What we've done is the shape of that clapper at the bottom, or that little handle there, sort of echoed that there and there, and because we live by the sea, we thought a little sort of boat motif might be of interest. I thought you might find this interesting. This is the copper that I'm using to make this bell bracket. It's 3mm thick by 31mm, and it's quite tough. And to braze these two parts together, this thing wasn't, this gas torch wasn't powerful enough. So what I did in the end is I used a bit of this self-fluxing brazing wire. I made a little U-shaped clip and bent it round so as it went around there, like a small version of that, and put it on the wood burner, and just waited for it to melt. And as you saw, I had it held in place with some iron wire, and that's fine. It's done the job. It's run more than I want, but I can clean that off. But it makes the copper very, very soft. If you take a piece of steel, get it red hot and chuck it in water, you'll harden it. If you take a piece of copper and get it red hot and chuck it in a bucket of water, you'll actually soften it. And I'll show you the difference again. That takes quite a lot of force to get that to me. Now you watch this. So that copper is really very soft, but copper has this property that it work hardens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately bend that, and it'll get harder. I hope I'm catching that on here. That'll get harder and harder. I hardened this piece in the vise. I actually got it in the vise and hardened, because I don't want a piece of soft copper. So it's a case of the brazing it has actually annealed it. Sorry, making another noise there. The brazing has annealed it, and now I'm hardening it again. And as you know, with a piece of copper wire you can bend it until it breaks. Here I'm using my judgment of not putting so much force on there as to rip the joint apart, but I don't want the copper to be as soft as it was. And I can flatten it all out because I can planish it afterwards. But see how easy that's bending, but that will harden up as the crystals in the copper will fall. But I'm only going to have 2 fixings onto the wall on this, and they'll be down there. They'll be here somewhere and here. But anyway, I just thought, if you haven't seen that before, it gives you some idea of the issues of working with copper. If you hit this all over with a hammer, you tap it all over, it'll also harden it. But if you remember, when I first bent it, you saw how easily it bent. And now it's getting back. It's not quite as hard as the original material, but it would be. You can harden it. I want that bit to be harder. Okay. Anyway, as I say, just thought you might find that interesting. So it'll go something like that. That'll be cut off. Yeah. I've cut the copper tube there. That's going to be the mast. I've cut that so that'll slot onto the bottom bit, and then I'm just rounding off the end because I think it'll look better. I don't want to put it in the vise because it'll mark it, but I don't need to close it up completely, but hopefully that's in focus. Then that'll go on there, something like that, and that'll go there. What I was going to do was sort of where I've slotted that, these little flags, I was going to use that to hold the gap up because Sophie wants a gap between the glass and the copper there, but I think I'll put a washer around there, cut those off and file it out. This is an abrasive stone, a few different types here, and what I'm going to do is just take the sharp edge off the glass. Because I'm not planning to cover that or protect it at all. Doesn't need much, but once you take that edge off, then it won't cut you or anybody else. To hold the glass in place, that'll be on there like that. I'm going to use these bits of wire. So I've drilled in the various places. I've stripped off some old cable to get the copper wire, and I'm just going to solder these wires in each of their positions. Well, that's the finished article. I was going to clean up the copper, but Sophie said no, she wants the muted colours, she wants it looking old. So that's where we started from, thinking it was going to look something like that with just a piece of glass, and I thought I would just have half a sail at the back, but it's turned out like that. So I'll get that hung up and show you what it looks like from outside. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting, guys. And thanks for the bells, Stella. It's in pride of place now, love. Thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys. Sometimes you might wonder where the inspiration for an idea comes from, but in this case it really came from a parcel of broken glass. I'd ordered some more stained glass, and one of the sheets was broken, and we thought, well, maybe we'll use a bit of that, and Sophie came up with this idea. And that was to use one of the pieces of glass to give something that suggested the shape of a sail. So there's a piece of glass, and then they're the basic parts I was getting together, and when I looked at that, it suggested something else to me. And I thought, oh, I'll just do that second sail as though it's half a sail, as if the boat is coming out of the wall. But then we finally decided that it looked nicer to have the two sails, and it also looked nicer to be out of two different pieces of coloured glass. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.